Karl Lansley, thank you so much for joining me. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about the Carly Lansley Foundation, please, and the work that you do?
Yep. Okay. So the Carly Lansley Foundation was a charity established in memory of my late wife, Carly. So Carly passed away in 2017 at the age of 36. She had an undiagnosed heart condition. So basically, she went to bed and just never woke up, which sounds just crazy when you think she's 36 years old. So her cause of death will never be fully explained. It's just an undiagnosed heart condition. So about a year after Carly had passed away, the family wanted to do something to kind of honour her memory. So we was going to do one fundraiser. We are going to do one event. It was going to be a little table sale in a little church hall local to us. And the response to that was so huge that it led on to we'll do a curry night, we'll do a golf day. So all this time we was raising money for Carly, but we was going to give it to another charity, but we didn't know what we was going to do with it first of all. So our idea was to raise money for Carly and then say this is in Carly's name. And as it grew and grew and grew, it made me think maybe we should be doing something more than just giving money to another charity and not really knowing what it's going to. So we found this national charity called Cardiac Risk in the Young. They're known as CRY basically, and they look into unexplained heart conditions. They look into undiagnosed people pass away with undiagnosed heart conditions. So they do things like research. They do awareness courses. One of the things that they do as a charity is they provide free heart screenings around the country. So what they'll do is they'll actually go into a venue with a doctor, trained technicians, all of the medical equipment, and they'll actually test the hearts of people between the ages of 14 and 35. And if they are found to have something, they'll then get referred and they'll follow the referral through. And when we saw this, we thought that was what we wanted to do in Carly's name.
Cool.
So these screening days cover 100 young people. And at the time, when Carly passed, they cost £5,000 a day to hold. Now they're about just over 7,000 to host.
Wow.
So our idea was let's see if we can raise what was then. Let's see if we can raise £5,000 and let's have a screening day in memory of Carly. So we can say we did this in memory of Carly. So we contacted CRY and they were like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. We'll do a screening day for you. And all the time this was going on, the charity was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I soon became aware, I kept saying to people, we're going to easily pass 5,000, easily pass 5,000. So we could hold 2 screening days in Carly's name. We're going to easily pass 10,000. So we're going to hold 3 screening days in Carly's name. So all the time we're doing this, hosting these screening days, I was getting contacted by a lot of companies who were saying, we can sponsor you. What's your registered charity number? And I went, we're not registered charity. We're raising money for a charity. So it made me think, what can I get if we were a registered charity? So basically, I started the ball rolling on what would it take to become a registered charity. And I quite openly admit I can be quite lazy when it comes to paperwork. So I was thinking, if this is too complex and too involved, we'll just forget it and leave. It was actually really straightforward. When I explained to them who we are, what we wanted to do, why we wanted to do it. So we're actually a registered charity it was less than a year after Carly passed.
Oh, wow.
We'd actually gone from being somebody who has a fundraising family to actual registered charity. That then did open the door to us getting funding. Gift aid was a huge thing we could get.
Yeah, gift aid's a massive thing, isn't it? It's so helpful.
I keep saying to people, 25%.
Costs people nothing, but is such an incredible thing for the charities involved.
And that's why we always try and push people to claim gift aid. Because I don't think some people understand it.
A lot of people don't understand it. They think it costs them money, but actually it doesn't cost them a penny as long as they pay tax.
They think it costs them money, or they think they're going to get a knock on the door from somebody saying, why did you pay this to these people and that? And we explain to them, it's not that at all. And literally, if you donate a tenner, no one's going to quibble £2.50. Yeah. So it just opened the door to us. And also, if you then go to a company and say you're a registered charity, again, it opens more doors than just saying, oh, I'm a family doing a fundraiser. So we became a registered charity in our own right. So as it stands now, Carly Lansley Foundation is its charity in its own right. But we still work very, very closely with Cardiac Risk in the Young. So all of our screening days still go through Cardiac Risk in the Young. They do them all. And that's our main focus. So what we do is basically we've now held 37 screening dates. We've got another 6 in the diary.
I don't suppose you know of any cases that have actually come out as a result of those screening days where people's lives have genuinely been saved.
There's one. Yeah, I will say to people now, if people Google the name Harry Jenkins, he won't mind me giving this out because he was on BBC because of it. So Harry Jenkins came along to our second ever screening day in October 2019. His parents were concerned that he wasn't getting the right um, attention. He wasn't being taken serious enough. They had concerns
Yeah.
over his health. Um, he was kept at the screen day for about 2 or 3 hours and was referred literally the next day and had to have an operation on his heart,
Oh my
which
goodness.
they did say to him, actually saved his life. So when I say we save someone's life, that's not me bragging saying, "Oh, our charity is really great." So
No.
those were the exact words he was
Yeah.
told. And when I spoke to the family, I said to him, "Can I actually use that? Because that's a huge thing to be told."
Yeah.
So his name's Harry Jenkins. He's done interviews on the BBC. Um, I wrote a book about the charity. Harry's in that.
Yeah.
So we've screened about 3,500 young people, and we've know 150 that have needed a further referral
Oh
of
wow.
some kind. So the referral could be something. It could be something as minor as they're only 14 years old, their heart's not developed, but we need to see them again in a few years. So that's a referral,
Mhm.
but it's not them saying it's nothing to worry about. It's just that
Yeah.
we need, before we can give you the all clear, we need to see.
Yeah.
But it can go right up to the likes of Harry, where they're saying, and he's one of two. Another one we know of was a lad who came to Screen Day on Wednesday, and he was going to London on a Friday to basically have his heart checked because it was so
Goodness.
they were so concerned about him. So we do know about it. We don't get told specifics of cases.
Of course.
So it's all obviously GDPR, confidential,
Of
cry
course.
of all this information. But at the end of every screen day, they would say to me, "Carl, we screened 103 young people. There were 3 referrals."
Mhm.
And they would never tell me what the referrals are, but they'll say there's 3 referrals.
But what a brilliant thing to be able to do out of such a tragic situation, to be able to save quite literally or
It was
potentially get there in time ahead of it becoming serious enough. What an amazing thing to happen out of Carly's legacy.
it went so when the thing happened with Harry, I'll be honest, that really hit home. So
Yeah.
up until that point, it was all very much, oh look, we're doing this fundraising and we're doing these brilliant events and everyone's having a good time, and it's still a bit of it basically was a bit of fun, you know. So let's organise. What else can I organise? Oh, let's organise a football match. Let's organise. And then we started doing spring day. You see everyone come in. It's like, oh, everyone getting their heart checked. As soon as you hear that story about Harry, it brings everything to focus. Everything saying, right, everything we do, all the fundraisers, the money we raise,
This is why you do
that's
it.
why we do it. Yeah. And like I say, Harry's just one. There may have been 2 or 3 others that have been saved by that.
What an incredible thing though in her legacy.
So when he appeared on BBC, he was interviewed first, and I was interviewed just after him. And they said, we're going to speak to Harry first. I went, that's absolutely fine. Speak to him first. When he spoke and when he finished, when they came to me, I literally couldn't speak because I was so choked up because of what he was saying. And to think that we'd achieved that as a family, we'd helped him achieve that. Yeah, and when you say about creating a legacy of Carly, her name will forever live on.
Of course.
I know Carly passed away nearly over 9 years ago, but her name will always live on. Our Lansley family name will always live on. So yeah, we have, like I say, I think as everyone tells us all the time, we have taken something that was incredibly heartbreaking
Yeah.
and incredibly negative, and we've turned it into something positive. But we can see that we are actually helping families.
That's the thing. You're actually seeing the benefits of it and what it, I feel like sometimes there are situations where you do things to help, but you'll never know the full
Yeah,
benefits of maybe where the money's gone. You know, if you do some fundraising, or to actually know the direct personal cases. I think that's the thing.
yeah,
Is having a charity with personalisation and actually having that human feel to it, where whoever donates, whoever participates, can genuinely see the impact this is having on everybody's lives, and especially these people that probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. That is such an incredible
yeah,
achievement, and again, in her name as well, what an amazing thing to have and turn something so
yeah.
awful into such a positive.
We
Yeah.
do. So I mean, we've got like 120 runners that run for, call it Team Carly,
Yeah.
and they do half marathons, 10Ks, park runs, that kind of stuff. And the reason they do it for us, and they all become really good friends, is they said that this charity resonates so much with them because they can actually see, if they go and raise a couple of £100 by doing a park run,
Actually see where
they
the
can
money
actually
goes.
see. And what I tend to do is when I go along and accept checks on behalf of the charity, or when I go and collect, I tend to say to people, thank you for your donation of
Mm-hmm.
£700. Just to translate that, that's 10 families that you are directly going to be benefiting. Yeah, that's 10 families who will come in on a screening day and either say thank you because you found something of our child, or thank you because you've given us peace of mind. So it's not, don't look at it as £700. Look at that as, that's 10 families 10 families that you directly.
When you put it like that, it actually hits
And that's
harder.
what a lot of people say. And don't get me wrong, there are so many fantastic charities out there. I know you said about Lee does fundraising for fantastic charities, but when they're that big and you send them a check for whatever it is, you don't always know directly, well, what's that money? What's that actually directly going towards? Some of the charities you do, obviously a lot more of the local charities you see the immediate benefit. But that was one of the things that we really wanted to do. If we're going to do fundraising in memory of Carly, we wanted to see what the result would be. And to have 3,500 families checked.
It's incredible. And you've got some more screening days coming up, haven't you?
Yep. So we've got in a fortnight, we've got 2 more dates.
Okay.
So
when are those?
So our screening dates are based. 90% of our screening dates are now held at Saxon Hall, which is over by the airport.
Aviation Way,
big Masonic lodge. The reason we use that is because during COVID they shut down every venue that you could use. You could either use doctor surgeries, you could use church halls. They said, no, we need basically huge. Basically, it sounded like they wanted like Wembley Arena or something. They wanted something huge, but they wanted a room over there, and I was like, that's not on our doorstep. How have we got that? No. And then someone did mention saying, have you ever seen Saxon Hall? Because they have got that room there. So we went there with Cry. So just after COVID, this is another thing we're proud of. We were actually the first charity in the country post a screening day. We were the trial run for the whole screening process. So all of our screening days held over at Saxon Hall. People can book in online through the website. Those dates are all booked.
But is this on the website through Cry or through
Carly Lansley? No, through Carly Lansley Foundation.
Perfect.
So on our website, there's actually a thing called screen dates. You go on there, there's a list of all your screen dates. And if you want to go on one, you just put your name and email address and you go on a list.
Okay.
And I then message people and say, right, this is the link. You book yourselves in at a time you want. And they fill in all the information at that stage. We don't see any of their medical information at all.
Right.
So we get 100 people. So we've got 2 days in a few weeks. They're already fully booked.
Okay.
We've got another 2 in August. The space is on that. And then next year we've got already dates in the diary at Saxon Hall. But next year we're also going back to Civic College in Dundersley. We have 1 day a year there.
Right.
And where else are we going? There was somewhere else. I lose track of where these venues are, but we're definitely at Civic next year.
Yep.
And that'll be an even more poignant screening day, because for the first time next year we're actually joining forces with another bereaved family.
Okay.
So another family, their son passed away about 20 years ago, I think it was. Okay. Maybe 20, no, maybe less than that, maybe 15 years ago. And they saw our charity, and so we've gone in 50-50 with them. So
it's lovely.
So we're doing that next year.
That's nice.
So
yeah. So can you talk me through the process of what happens on a screening day?
Yep. So on a screening day, so first of all, just to explain, so on a screening day, everyone books in beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah. People can't just rock up and expect it. So you book in beforehand and you complete all your information with Cry. So you tell them your NHS number, your medical history, do you have any concerns, what your GP details are. So when you go in, they've got some kind of background of your medical history. Right. When you turn up, every single person that attends has an ECG.
Right.
So an ECG, and this is what I have to explain to a lot of young people. There's no needles involved.
Yep.
It's not a blood test. You'd be surprised how many people think.
No, well, before I go to, I had an ECG a couple of years ago, and before I did, I mean, I'm terrified of needles, and I panicked. I was in A&E, absolutely panicking, and they said, no, just a few little electrodes that they clip onto you.
Yep.
It's like, right, that's fine, I can do that. It's just some stickers. It's just some stickers and some clips. That's it.
This is exactly what we explain to people. So a lot of people, we do get questions. Are there needles involved? Is it blood test? I say absolutely not. I'll be honest, if there was needles involved, I wouldn't be there that day. So I say to people, there's definitely no needles involved, because trust me, I'm as anxious as you. So there's no needles involved, no blood test. Like you say, it's basically a few stickers on the arms, body, down your legs. They attach you to a machine. And so every single person, and this is all done in a private booth with a trained technician, and they record your heartbeat for 5 minutes. So on 95% of cases, that 5-minute reading will basically say to you, yes, this is okay, it's not, if the reading is whatever, for any reason, unclear, or if the doctor reads the results and he's not overly happy with it, people then can on the same day have what's called an echocardiogram, which is in a separate room at the back of Saxon Hall. That's a much more in-depth scan of the heart. Again, no needles, no blood test involved. But I say to people, it's more like an ultrasound.
Okay.
Now when you go for a baby scan.
Yep.
So, but because it's a much more in-depth thing, it takes about half an hour. Okay. So maybe 2 or 3 of those a day. Okay. They're not regular, but so everyone has an ECG, completely painless. They then go into a waiting area to see the doctor, and the doctor will go through the results with every single person.
Okay.
no matter whether their ECG was clear or not. He'll go through the results of every single person. People can then also raise their concerns if they've got any at the same time. But everyone sees a doctor on site. All the results get fed back to their GP. So if they get the all clear, it shows on their records. They had an ECG on this date, it's all clear. If they get referred, depending on what the referral is, CRI will actually follow the referral through.
Okay.
So they would actually make sure they would actually write to the doctor and say, we found this, this, and this, and this.
Okay.
You need to do this, this, and this. If it's an extreme, like with Harry and with the other lad I said the other week, so CRI do have their own cardiac centre up in London.
Right.
I think it's at St George's, but I could be wrong. But if you Google it, CRI have got their own centre. So if it's a really severe case, they would probably tend to bypass that and send the people straight to their
so it's not
London.
a case of if they find something, you're just left. It's a case of they find something and immediately follow up.
No, absolutely not. If anything is found,
nothing gets swept under the rug.
CRI follow up. Like I say, we don't get much feedback. So if people ask me, I do have to obviously say you need to go to CRI.
Of course.
They will never tell me any medical history of the people at all. But no, CRI will absolutely follow through. Absolutely every single referral that comes through on there. So the screening date. So some people can be there for like less than 10 minutes. The screening day starts at 9 o'clock, and I say to people, if you get there at 10 till, you'll get seen straight away. So some people are in and out before 9.
Yeah.
Obviously, as the day goes on and more people need more checks and some of them need further checks, there can be a bit of a...
Of course.
So I say to people, you should really maybe allow an hour.
Yeah.
I know it's only a 5-minute check, but can you just allow an hour? Because if they get 3 or 4 concern cases, they're going to be... But most people are in and out within half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other sort of big project that I've seen that's been going on is you've had defibrillators installed, haven't you, in quite a few locations across Southend that have all got the charity logo on them. So that's obviously another massive, potentially life-saving project that's been going on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, okay. And also we'll talk about the third project at the end of this. But so the defibrillators, so when the charity first started, we did actually install 6 defibrillators funded solely by our charity. Eastwood Academy, when my kids went, I've got a defib. Chase High, I've got a defib. I think Balmoral Centre. So we installed 6 of our own funding. But then we found that there were so many people out there fundraising for defibs, and there's not many people doing screen days. So we kind of, our focus went to the screen days.
Because surprisingly, there weren't actually that many in Southend until I started noticing them pop up over the last couple of years, thanks to you. And it's amazing how little enforcement there was.
So what happened was, so we did these 6 defibrillators off our own back, and then kind of all went quiet on defibrillators. And then we got contacted, again, this is probably, I think, just maybe pre-COVID, around COVID time. We got contacted by the Rotary clubs. There's 2 of them, Lee and Thorpe Bay Rotary clubs. So they contacted us saying they wanted to install defibrillators. And I was like, okay, that's brilliant. I said, we've kind of backed away from it a little bit, but what are you thinking? And they were saying, right, we want to install them all along the Southend seafront. And I think before we did it, I think there was none along the seafront. No. There was none. There were probably some in buildings.
I think there was I think, if memory serves me right, I think there was one at Chalkwell and then there was one at Shoebury. But between that, I mean, that's a huge stretch of beach where people swim, people run. There's so much going on down there. So that was, and yet there was nothing.
No, that was the Rotary's concern. So I think they got approached to install a defib at Chalkwell Station, the lifeguard station.
Yeah.
And off the back of that, they noticed there was no defibs along the seafront. So they come up with this project, which is called CDIP, which was to install 14 defibrillators. So its majority is along the seafront.
Yes.
But there are some dotted around in the town centre. But so if anyone's walking along the seafront, I guarantee you now, I think you'll see 8 or 9 defibs along there, and they will all have our logo and the Rotary logos on there. So we got involved with the Rotary clubs to do that. And obviously, off the back of that, there's obviously the maintenance involved. Now, once you install a defibrillator, you've obviously got to change the batteries, change the pads. They get used hundreds of times. When I say get used, they get taken out of the case hundreds of times. Not actually used on people, but to people, it's just that's considered a use if it comes out. So they are getting used a lot. So it shows how much they were needed. So we installed the defibrillators with them, and then kind of linked to that was the third thing I was saying. Was again, this is with the Rotary Club, is we basically said, right, it's all well and good having defibrillators on there, but what if do people know how to use them? Are people petrified of how to use them? So what we do now is we do that a monthly, it's free, we do a monthly CPR and defib training session.
Is this for anyone?
Yeah, absolutely, anybody can attend. So
Okay.
again, on our website, again,
I'll be
there's
signing up to this after this.
absolutely, we've got
Yeah.
four sessions between now and the end of the year. So we work with the Rotary clubs and a first aid company called Pronto. It's held at 7 in the evening, various locations around Southend.
Okay.
Basically, 2 hour session, but we teach residents how to use a defibrillator.
Okay.
And when you see how they are, when you see how they are used, you realise just how simple they are.
Yeah.
We also teach CPR
Okay.
on adults and
Yeah.
children. It's all covered in the same course,
Yeah.
all completely free. We do about 35 people on the course.
Okay.
So again, that's on our website as well, so people can
Yep.
book in for a CPR course.
Amazing.
And
I'll be doing that after this because, Joe, it's only when I think you're faced with a situation that you realise the training that we're lacking. And it amazes me that these kinds of things aren't actually taught in the school curriculums, because you would actually begin to think that even, especially in sort of further education, in sixth forms, you know, colleges, you
yeah,
would actually think that, you know, where, especially at an age where people maybe start having children as well,
yeah,
it would be essential to know these kinds of things, you know.
I do actually think that from a certain age group, I think they are now they are phasing them in.
Oh, brilliant.
I think it's maybe only 1 hour a year, so it's not an intensive course.
It's a start.
But it's a start. But yeah, the more people know how to do it, again, off from the CPR course we've done, I think we've held about 30 so far. We know of 2 people directly who have had to perform CPR on somebody.
Oh, really?
After attending our course, and they said it's only because they know one of them was a lady on her mum. She had to perform CPR on her mum, and she said it was only because she knew how to do what she needed to because of our course. So again, it's another huge thing. So the heart screenings, the defibrillators, and the training. Those are the 3 main things that our charity do.
Amazing. And if people want to get involved and support, obviously appreciate people can sign up to actually partake in any of the screening days or any of the courses on your website. If anyone wants to fundraise for yourselves or just know any more information, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so probably the easiest way is for the website. There is an email address on there.
Okay.
It's probably too long for me to read out, but if there's an email address there, if they contact me. But people can. There's also a donate button. People just want to donate money. It's online.
Yeah.
We try and do loads of fundraisers throughout the year.
Yes.
I'm always thinking of new ideas. So we go to Yorkshire Free Peaks every year. We do wing walkers. People do wing walkers for us. We're always thinking of more extreme stuff. We've got marathon runners all around Europe next year. So we're always thinking of fundraisers. But if anyone wants to do an event for us, those actually sometimes are even better because I have to have little involvement in those.
Okay.
let someone else organise those.
Fair enough.
But I always say to people, I will always attend our fundraisers. So if people do a fundraiser, I'll always attend. I'll help out if I can.
Yeah.
But if people want to fundraise for us, but yeah, if they go on the website, again, referring everything to the website, there's a list of events on there and what people come along to.
Perfect.
And if anyone thinks they want to do an event for us,
just
message us. I was going to say, one of the other things that people easily can do, this is the easiest thing we sometimes ask people, if they want to raise awareness for us, when I said earlier, we've got a running team, we've got 120 runners, there's no obligation to fundraise. There's no, and basically what I'm wearing now is our Carly Lansley Foundation running shirt. These are, if you go to Southend Half Marathon or the Southend, you'll see hundreds of these. We say to people, this is an easy way, because the amount of people that stop and say, oh, what's that charity about? So I'll say to people, if you want to do something for us and you're a runner or a walker, message us, we'll give you a shirt. That will raise awareness. Off the back of that might then lead to somebody saying we'll do a fundraiser for you.
Awareness, I think, is one of the biggest driving forces behind change. That's what I'm hoping, is that even if there's one person that this can help, whether it's that they come along to a screening day, whether that they want to get involved with the fundraising and it obviously helps yourselves out, or whether that they come along to a training course, that would be one person's life that this has touched and changed, and something else to add to.
And I guarantee that one person will then tell 10 of their friends, and one of their friends will take it on board, and that's how it will spiral. And I've seen it so clearly over the last 8 years. When I think what we started from, we're a tiny little charity, and we're only at Southend. What we started from to what we are now, that is all word of mouth. It is all awareness. They found out about it, and it leads to this. It leads to this.
Just wanted to touch on Smile briefly as well, because obviously I've spoken to Lee previously, and I know that this is something that yourself and Lee have worked together on. I've obviously had a lot of information from him about everything that Smile does with your walking groups and how people can get involved, and the difference that it's made. But I think from your perspective, obviously mentally, I'm assuming it's helped you massively, especially in bereavement, following everything. How's it sort of come about for you? I've know Lee's side of things, so I'm just curious.
So I met Lee. in January 2023 because he was doing some fundraising for our charity. You know what Lee's like. And then he did a quiz night for our charity, and we just got to know each other. And although I think me and him are quite different characters, we bond really well with a lot of common interests. Yeah, we want to raise money for charity. He's had struggles. I've had struggles. And yeah, one of the things I did for the charity is I actually did I should have mentioned this earlier. I did a 1,000-mile walk around England in 2024 in memory 24 in memory of Carly, and it gave me a love of walking. And I think because you Google walking, suddenly you get all these walking groups come up. So I remember just saying to Lee, I said, should we start a little walking group?
Yeah.
Apparently, walking's mentally good for you. Gets people out talking.
Yep.
Do you think it might take off? And it was actually over South Church Park. We were walking these dogs, and we went, you know what? Let's just put it out there. If it's me, you, and your dogs, it's me, you, and your dogs.
Yeah.
If you've got one person turn up, you get one person turn up. You know where it's going to turn.
Yeah.
So so we basically created Smile, had our first walk along the seafront, maybe a dozen people, which really threw us. And again, it's like the charity, Little Acorns. It's resonated with people.
Yep.
And they've told their friends. So now Smile has just grown in something.
Absolutely
skyrocketed, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Me and Lee have got plans of. So it started off as a mental health group. And I did say to Lee, there is still an aspect of it, but there is now also what I call the social side of it. I think some people come along just because they want to make new friends, because they want to walk their dogs. But we absolutely know that it's helping people. The amount of messages me and Lee get, the amount of people we can see that joined Smile a year ago were really timid at the back, and now at the front. I'm going to lead this walk. We see this every single event we go on. But we're doing walks, we're doing quiz nights, we're doing sports days, we're doing
all sorts,
meals. Oh, and I said to you, the sky's the limit. But
you don't stop. You just don't stop.
No, I just keep taking off. But the thing is, okay, people with the charity and Smile, they're such huge positive things.
They are.
I get such a buzz out of both of them.
Absolutely.
But I don't mind putting the hours in to get these things done, because I can see I'm helping people.
And how incredibly rewarding as well. And as you say, if it helps one person, that's one person's life that you've touched. So let's hope that more people will come to you.
I was going to say, and the other thing is, as kind of on a personal note, the Smile and charity, my kids are seeing this, and I think the message it's sending to my kids, they can see the positivity out of. They've had heartbreak in it, but they see all this positivity going on.
Of course.
So I'm as proud for them seeing this as everything I do for charity and Smile. I'm proud that they can see, look, there are good people out there. You can do some good stuff. If you do this, people are going to respond to it. So.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I just think it's such an inspiration, actually, hearing how you have turned such a traumatic and tragic experience into something so incredible to help so many people. So thank you for everything that you do.
No, thank you for this,
and thank you for joining me in for the chat. Appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for this opportunity.